In this lecture, we are going to discuss about various physiochemical properties which are related to the biological action of a drug. Various physiological properties which are majorly related to the biological action of drug. We already discussed in the introduction of the Unit 1 Medicinal Chemistry. We know that the structure of the molecule, structure of the drug will decide the physical and chemical properties of the drug. Physical and chemical properties of the drug. So we already discussed in the introduction section that the structure of the drug molecule entirely governs or otherwise controls the physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So as well as we know that the drug is the substance is having a therapeutic effect or otherwise pharmacological effect. Therapeutic effect or pharmacological effect. Logical effect or therapeutic effect. It is simply called as pharmacological effect or therapeutic effect. Is in simple terms it is called as biological effect. In simple terms it is called as biological effect or action. Biological effect or action. So based on the structure of the drug molecule, its physical and chemical properties are based on the structure of the drug molecule, its physical and chemical properties are dependent. The physical and chemical properties of a drug are structure dependent. So, and as well as this, and the most important point we have to know is this physical and chemical properties will affect the biological action. The entire biological action of the drug molecule depends upon the physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So for a drug to elicit its pharmacological therapeutic effect, it majorly depends upon its physical and chemical properties. Otherwise, simply for a drug molecule, its ability to elicit, otherwise elicit or show. A drug molecule, its ability to elicit or show its pharmacological effect or therapeutic effects depends upon the physical and chemical properties. The ability of a drug to elicit or show its pharmacological effect or therapeutic effects depends on physiochemical properties of the drug molecule. My intention is here to say that the ability of a drug to elicit or show its pharmacological effect or therapeutic effects is majorly depends on physical property and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So depends upon physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So once again, so I am stressing on the point that the ability to elicit or show the pharmacological effect or therapeutic effect by a drug is majorly depends upon its physical and chemical properties. So what are the various physical and chemical properties which are responsible for its biological activity are the major and most important physical properties. So I am here writing the list of physiochemical properties which affects the pharmacological effect and therapeutic outcome of the drug. Okay, so what are the various physicochemical properties? The first effect is the ionization. Second effect we have to study is the solubility of the drug molecule. We have to know the ionization properties of the drug molecule, you have to know the solubility profile of the drug molecule. Then partition coefficient. Partition coefficient. The next is hydrogen bonding. The next property, otherwise physiochemical property, is the protein binding. Okay. Next physiochemical property is the chelation or complexation. Chelation or complexation. Otherwise, next is bioisosterism. So next property we have to study is the bioisosterism. Next is optical isomerism. Okay. Next is geometrical isomerism. Okay. Next is redox potential. Our next one is surface activity. Okay, so these are the various physiochemical properties which will affect the therapeutic outcome of the drug. These properties will be possessed by the drug molecules. All drug molecules has ionization value, solubility value, partition coefficient value, hydrogen bonding forming nature, protein binding nature, chelation nature. If it has chiral center, it show it has chiral center, it can show isomerism, and every drug has redox potential and surface activity. Once again explaining the introduction to this topic. So in this topic we are going to discuss about various physiochemical properties which will affect the biological action of the drug. In the introduction class we already discussed the structure of the drug will definitely affects the physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. Otherwise, the physical and chemical properties of the drug molecules are majorly depends upon the structure of the drug molecule, and this structure indirectly affects the pharmacological or therapeutic effects, such that as physiochemical properties depends upon the structure, and the biological effects is majorly depends upon the physical and chemical property of the drug molecule. So the ability to elicit or show an biological action by a drug molecule is entirely depends upon physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So ability of a drug to show its pharmacological effect or biological effects is majorly depends upon its physical and chemical properties of the drug molecule. So various physical and chemical properties we must know are the ionization value of the drug molecule, solubility of the drug molecule, partition coefficient of the drug molecule, hydrogen bonding nature of the drug molecule, protein binding nature of the drug molecule, and as well as it has any property of chelation forming or complexation forming properties of the drug molecule. If it has an chiral center, it shows generally isomerism. So what type of isomerism it is showing, and redox potential and surface activity. These are the various physiochemical properties you have to study for every drug. So before going into the individual physiochemical properties, so I will simply explain what is ionization, solubility, partition coefficient. So whenever you take a drug, whenever you administer a drug through oral route, it first reaches GIT. So it's a simple explanation for knowing the importance of these physiochemical properties. So whenever a drug is taken through oral route, first it reaches GIT. Gastrointestinal tract. So based upon its ionization power, based upon this ionization power, drug will convert it into an ionized form. If some drugs don't get into, they don't go for ionization. So then the drug, after entering to the GAT, it undergoes ionization, or otherwise it doesn't undergo ionization. Then it have to go for dissolution. After entering the GAT, it have to go for dissolution. This dissolution is nothing but soluble form of drug available. So whenever it reaches GAT, it may undergo ionization or doesn't undergo ionization. So definitely drug have to in a solution form. To absorb, the drug should be converted into a solution form. After it converted into a solution form, it will undergoes absorption. It undergoes absorption. So when a drug is taken through oral route, it reaches GAT. In the GAT, it may go ionization, otherwise it may do not go ionization. After ionization, it undergoes ionization is required for solubility. It required for soluble to dissolve. So some drugs required. Some drugs in ionic form, they are soluble in nature. Some drugs are in unionized form, they are soluble in nature. So so after entering the GAT, it undergoes ionization, or some drugs undergoes ionization, some drugs doesn't go undergo ionization. The next step occurs in the GAT is that it undergoes dissolution. It means the entire drug is soluble in the GAT fluid. After dissolving the GAT fluid, the drug will be in solution form. And when the drug is in solution form, it undergoes absorption. After absorption, it undergoes distribution. After distribution, it undergoes elimination, and some of the drug will be undergoes deposition. So this deposition is majorly depends upon protein binding. So this pharmacokinetic parameters like absorption, distribution, elimination, and deposition is majorly depends upon these physiochemical properties of the drug molecule. So this absorption is majorly depends upon solubility nature of the drug molecule. The solubility of the drug depends upon ionization power of the drug molecule. If the drug undergoes more ionization, it easily soluble. If drug doesn't undergo ionization, means it is very less soluble. So the ionized form of drug is less absorbable. Unionized form of drug is absorbable. Like that, this pharmacokinetic parameters majorly depends upon this ionization, and based upon these pharmacokinetic effects, the drug action will be decided. So if drug reaches as fast as possible to the site of action, it immediately shows its pharmacological effect. To show its pharmacological effect, the drug must have to reach the site of action very quickly. So quickly reaching, otherwise fast reaching of the drug molecule depends upon these parameters like ionization, solubility, partition coefficient, hydrogen bonding, protein binding, etc. So it shows that every aspect of the drug molecule depends upon its physiochemical properties of the drug molecules. Not only biological action or pharmacological outcome or therapeutic outcome, other factors like dissolution, absorption, distribution, elimination, and deposition of the drug molecules majorly depends upon their physiochemical properties. So before knowing the biological action of the drug molecule, we have to know their physiochemical properties. As we are studying medicinal chemistry, a medicinal chemist must know these parameters like ionization, solubility, partition coefficient. These three parameters must be shown by a medicinal chemist, along with the isomeric nature of the drug molecule. So is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 parameters in the syllabus. Otherwise, 9 properties are there in the syllabus. Reduct potential and surface activities are out of syllabus. But for listing purpose I have written the 2 names. Okay, so these 9 properties should have to study in the first unit as under the PCA prescribed syllabus. Okay, this is about introduction to the unit 1. Already I have given in the offline mode, but once again I am revealing that importance of this physiochemical properties. So first we will discuss about the solubility. The first physiochemical properties now we are discussing is the solubility. So we already know that after administration of the drug by any route, it may be through an oral route, it may be through IV, the drug must be converted into a solution. So the drug must be converted into solution form. The drug to absorb, to distribute, to eliminate, whatever it may be, it must be in a solution form. So solubility is nothing but how much amount of a solvent required to make a solid into solution is nothing but it's a conventional definition, but there is no need for a definition here. Okay, so what is the importance of the solubility? Solubility affects or decides route of administration of the drug. Decides the route of administration of the drug, as well as it also decides formulation aspects. It also affects and decides formulation aspects. So that if the drug is insoluble, we cannot make it into an IV formulation. We cannot make it into an intravenous liquids. So it is easy. It can be converted to a tablet. So like that, formulation aspects also depends upon the solubility. So before making a tablet or solution of a drug, you have to know its solubility. So solubility also affects or decides the formulation aspects of the drug molecule, as well as after drug absorption, distribution and elimination. After absorption, distribution, elimination, drug undergoes disposition. Such that deposition of the drug in the body occurs. Disposition of the drug molecule depends upon the solubility. So after absorption of the drug, distribution of the drug, elimination of the drug undergoes disposition. This disposition of the drug majorly depends upon the solubility. Depends upon the solubility of the drug. So what is the measurement of solubility is very important to know the property of the drug molecule after entering into the body. So this solubility measurement, it's nothing but it's a simple measure of hydrogen bonding potential of the functional group. Simple measure of solubility is nothing but it's a simple measure of hydrogen bonding potential of the functional groups. One is hydrogen bonding potential of the functional group. Hydrogen bonding potential of the functional group, and as well as it's a measure of ionization of functional groups. So it's the measurement of solubility in our medicinal chemistry is a simple measure of hydrogen. It's a measure of hydrogen bonding potential of the functional groups, as well as ionization power of the functional groups. We already know that functional group means atom or group of atom which affect the property of an entire drug molecule. Okay, this is about functional group. So then then what means, so next point is the solubility is function of ionization as well as function of molecular structure, molecular weight, as well as stereochemistry as well as electronic structure, such that solubility of a drug molecule, it majorly depends upon ionization power of the drug molecule, molecular structure of the drug molecule, molecular weight of the drug molecule, stereochemistry of the drug molecule, and electronic structure of the drug molecule. So solubility is majorly depends upon ionization, molecular structure, molecular weight, stereochemistry, electronic structure of the drug molecule. So this solubility generally expressed in terms of affinity, philicity. It is that hydrophobic means water hating drug molecule, hydrophilic means water loving molecule. Like that the solubility is expressed. Okay, this so whenever a chemical or any drug molecule want to dissolve, it must establish a drug or a chemical want to dissolve, it must establish attractive forces between itself and molecule of the solvent So in order for a drug to dissolve or otherwise any compound to dissolve, it must establish an attractive force between the molecules of the same drug molecule as well as molecule of the solvent, such that exactly here it is a drug molecule. It is drug molecule 1, D2 drug D2, same drug, drug particle 1, drug particle 2, drug particle 3, drug particle 4 of the same drug. These are the particles of the drug molecule, particles of the same drug molecule. In order to dissolve these drug particles in a solvent, it must have an attractive force between drug particles itself, all drug particles itself. Also these drug particles have to show attractive force for solvent, such that this drug particle 1 must have attractive force towards solvent, this drug particle 2 must have attractive force towards solvent, drug particle 3 must have attractive force towards solvent, also fourth particle. So the drug molecule whatever the drug molecule or compound want to dissolve in a solvent, it must establish an attractive force between itself means between the particles of the drug molecule or compound. So it must establish an attractive force between the same particles of the drug molecule as well as with the solvent molecule. This is the primary important parameter which decides the dissolving nature of the drug molecule. So this attractive force forming nature depends upon its ionization power, molecular structure, molecular weight, and electronic structure. So there are various attractive forces are discussed which will affect the solubility. Are van der Waals force, dipole binding, ionic binding, ion dipole. So various attractive forces. The possible attractive force here are, it may be an van der Waals force, it may be an dipole binding, or it may be an ionic bonding or ionic dipoles. Otherwise I am writing here the possible attractive forces are Its possible attractive forces are maybe van der Waals forces, otherwise they are dipole bindings, dipole bindings, or they may be a ionic bonding or ion dipole bondings, ionic dipole bonding. So these are the possible attractive forces between the particles of the drug molecules, as well as solvent and drug molecules. Okay, so in order to a drug to dissolve in the solvent, it must establish an attractive force between itself and as well as molecule of the solvent. So this attractive force between these particles of the drug molecule may be a van der Waals force, it's a weak force, or dipole binding type, otherwise ionic binding type, or ionic dipole binding type, and as well as this attractive force between solvent and drug particles may be also a van der Waals force, or dipole binding force, ionic binding force, or sometimes hydrogen bonding. Sometimes hydrogen bondings may be present. So the solubility majorly depends upon ionization, molecular structure, molecular weight, stereochemistry, electronic structure of the drug molecule. So this is about solubility. So once again explaining, the solubility is the process of movement, and the solubility is very important parameter in the chemistry as well as pharmaceutics. Its solubility of a drug molecule affects or decides the route of drug administration. The route of administration of drug majorly depends upon the solubility nature of the drug molecule, as well as formulation aspects of the drug molecules also depends upon the solubility of the drug molecule, as well disposition property of the drug. Disposition nothing but after absorption, distribution, elimination, the drug will retains in our body by binding to various plasma proteins. So otherwise it deposited in the tissues. Generally it undergoes deposition in the tissues, various cell membranes, and whenever the drug concentration at receptor decreases, the drug slowly releases from the tissues and it reaches the receptor. Okay, it reaches the receptor side. So disposition is nothing but deposition of the drug in the body. And this deposited drug slowly releases whenever the concentration of the drug at receptor decreases. So this disposition property of the drug depends upon the solubility nature of the drug molecule. So in chemistry, the measurement of solubility is simply a measurement of hydrogen bonding potential of the functional groups, ionization power of the functional groups. In chemistry, the solubility measurement is nothing but measurement of hydrogen binding potential of the functional group of the drug molecule, as well as ionization potential of the functional groups of the drug molecule. In chemistry, there is the measurement of solubility. We will measure the solubility in chemistry in terms of hydrogen binding potential of the functional groups, as well as ionization power of the functional groups measurement. Okay, these two parameters are measured in order to know the solubility of the drug molecule. So let me discuss about the so this we already know that hydrogen bonding of potential of the functional groups, ionization power of the functional groups. So some functional groups like oxygen, nitrogen. So I already discussed hydrogen bonding potential of the functional groups, ionization of functional groups. We will measure these two parameters of the drug molecules. We will measure to know the solubility. So functional groups like oxygen and nitrogen. These functional groups like oxygen and nitrogen increases solubility, and hydrocarbon and rings of a drug molecule decreases solubility. Whenever you see any structure of the drug molecule, you definitely have hydrocarbon part along with its functional groups. If a drug molecule have an oxygen and nitrogen containing functional group in its structure, then it definitely increases the solubility nature of the drug molecule. That is the hydrogen binding potential of the functional groups we are measuring. So some functional groups like oxygen, nitrogen, they have hydrogen bonding forming potential. Okay, and hydrocarbon or ring part, they negatively affect the hydrogen bonding nature of the drug molecule, such that oxygen, nitrogen, they are present on the structure of the drug molecule. They will have good power of hydrogen bonding. If the hydrocarbon part or ring part of the drug molecules are when compared to oxygen and nitrogen function, if their percentage or their amount is very high, they will decrease the solubility. I will explain with the example, you can better understand. Okay, so don't worry about this point. Okay, so this is about introduction to the solubility. Now we discuss about methods of predicting solubility. Methods of predicting solubility, not the methods of measurement of solubility. Here we are studying about methods of predicting solubility. These methods are not methods of measuring solubility. Don't forget this simple point. Okay. So there are two methods for predicting solubility of drug molecules. Method one is the Lemke empiric approach, and the second method is Kate's method. Kate's method. Sorry, not Kate's method. The Lemke empiric approach depends upon this method. This Lemke empiric approach method is based upon this method. By this approach, we will predict the solubility. We will predict the water solubility of a drug molecule based on. We will predict the water solubility of the drug molecule based on carbon solubilizing by measuring the carbon solubilizing potential of various functions. Carbon solubilizing carbon solubilizing potential of various functional groups. Okay, this Lemke approach method will predict the solubility of the drug molecule by based on carbon solubilizing potential of the various functional groups. So what is meant by carbon solubilizing potential of a functional group, we will discuss. Okay, this Lemke empiric approach based upon carbon solubilizing potential of various functional groups, such that by this method we can predict the solubility of drug molecule based on its carbon solubilizing power of various functional groups. So it means carbon solubilizing power of various functional groups means, otherwise carbon solubilizing power of potential of functional group means, for suppose we already discussed in before, if a drug molecule having oxygen or nitrogen in its structure, it having an oxygen or nitrogen in its structure, they definitely increases the solubility. So if a drug molecule in its structure has hydrocarbon part, otherwise are rings, they decreases the solubility. For take an example here, there is an OH group here, there is an NH2 group here. There are how many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbons. So the carbons, the hydrocarbon, this is the hydrocarbon part. It's part of a drug molecule. Take it as an example as drug molecule. This part is hydrocarbon part. Hydrocarbon part. So what is the role of this hydrocarbon part with respect to solubility? This hydrocarbon part definitely decreases the solubility. This hydrocarbon part is made up of carbons. Hydrocarbon part is made up of carbon. This OH is the functional group called as alcohol functional group. NH2 is the amine functional group. So this OH2 group can kill 3 to 4 carbons in solubility nature. Otherwise, there are how many carbons? 7 carbon atoms in this molecule. There are 7 carbon atoms in this molecule. These 7 carbon atoms will cause insolubility. So whenever introduce an OH group, this OH group can kill 3 to 4 carbons in solubility. So OH group can kill 3 to 4 carbons in solubility. So there are 7 carbon atoms. The letter example is solubility is very less. Okay. Whenever they introduce an OH group, it will increase the solubility decreasing nature of the carbon atoms of 3 to 4 carbons. So whenever there is no effect of 3 to 4 carbons, whenever introduce OH group, it will kill the 3 carbons in solubility nature. So the insolubility of the compound is majorly due to 4 carbons only. So I am explaining. So in this structure there are 7 carbons. Whenever the 7 carbons, we have the solubility of the molecule is very less. Whenever introduced in OH group, it will kills the 3 carbons, which causing an insolubility nature to the molecule. So these 7 carbons are responsible to the insolubility nature of the molecule. Whenever OH group increase 3, it will decrease the insolubility causing effect of these 3 carbons. So the insolubility is due to only 4 carbons. So the solubility increases such that this OH group compensates 3 carbons effects. So in this molecule, whenever the OH group is introduced, before introduction of OH group, the insolubility is due to 7 carbons. Whenever OH group is introduced, the OH group can kill insolubility causing effect of this carbons by inhibiting 3 carbons. Otherwise, it kills 3 carbons insolubility. The insolubility is due to only 4 carbons. So whenever NH2 group is introduced along with the OH group, NH2 group, this amine group, okay, how many can kill? It can kill also, it can compensate 3 carbons. Only there is 1 carbon. So again solubility increased. Okay, what I am here saying is, in this molecule, before introduction of OH group and NH group, there are 7 carbons. The insolubility of this compound is majorly due to 7 carbons, because hydrocarbon part always decreases solubility. So hydrocarbon part always decreases water solubility, particularly water solubility. Whenever introduce an OH group, this OH group can kill the insolubility nature of the 7 carbons by 3 carbons. Whenever 3 carbons are compromised by OH group, this insolubility nature of 7 carbons, among the 7 carbons, 3 carbon atoms insolubility nature is compromised by the OH group. As 3 carbons effect on solubility decreases, there are only 4 carbons. So when compared to 7 carbon compound, 4 carbon compound, the solubility will be more. Again, along with the OH2 group, you are introduced NH2 group. The NH2 group also can kill, otherwise it can compensate 3 carbon atoms in solubility. So the carbon which is responsible for insolubility nature is 1 carbon as the solubility increases. So whenever introduced, before introduction of this OH and NH2 group, the insolubility is due to 7 carbon atoms. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 7 carbons. So this compound is 100% insoluble. 100% insoluble. Whenever you introduce an OH group, it can affect it will kill insoluble nature of this carbon atom, insoluble nature of this carbon atom, insoluble nature of this carbon. So before that introduction of OH group, there are 7 carbon atoms which are responsible for insoluble nature. Whenever OH group is introduced, this OH group compromises these 3 carbon atoms, and 3 carbon atoms doesn't affect solubility of the compound. So the solubility will be enhanced. Along with the OH group, when you introduce NH2 group, this NH2 group also compensates 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. So this only insolubility nature of this compound now is only due to 1 carbon. So OH and NH2 are winning the race, and they will increase the solubility nature of the organic compound. This is the measure of carbon solubilizing potential of various solubilizing potential of the functional group. So whenever you see an oxygen and nitrogen containing functional groups in a drug molecule, this functional group increase the solubility nature of the drug molecule. Whenever you see a hydrocarbon part or ring part, it will increase the solubility. So in this method, this Lemke, he is given some list. Okay, so I will take an example as a drug as an example. So this drug NH2 is attached to an aromatic ring. Okay, again there is a nitrogen. Okay, it is attached to there is another phenyl ring. Okay, there is an CH2, CH3. Okay, sorry, it is not CH2, CO2. It is CO2. Okay, so when you see it, there are how many carbon atoms are there? Means there are about 9 aliphatic carbons. 9 aliphatic carbons. So here NH2 group is there. NH2 group is there. So we already discussed that NH2 group can kill 3 carbon atoms. There are 9 aliphatic carbon atoms. These 9 aliphatic carbon atoms is the reason for insolubility. These 9 carbon atoms are the insolubility nature of this drug molecule. So whenever introduce NH2 group, it can compensate 3 carbon atoms. So whenever due to this NH2 group, the 9 carbons is effects reduced to 6 carbons. So solubility increases. Insoluble. The NH2 group introduced, it can kill 3 carbon atoms insolubility. So 9 carbon atom is insolubility is converted to 6 carbon insolubility in presence of NH2. In presence of NH2, the solubility insoluble become soluble. So there is another amine group, tertiary alkyl amine group. So tertiary alkyl amine group also can kill insolubility of 3 carbon atoms. It also kills 3 carbon atoms insoluble. So 6 carbons become 3 carbons now. Okay, another NH2 group due to another NH2 group here. Okay, so solubility increases. Okay, again there is an ester group is here. Ester group. Due to this ester group also can kill 3 carbons. Then also ester group also kills 3 carbons, so become 0. So solubility high. So before introduction of this NH2 group and ester group, there are 9 aliphatic carbon atoms are there. These aliphatic carbon atoms are forming the hydrocarbon chain, hydrocarbon chain. This hydrocarbon chain is highly water insoluble. Whenever you introduce an NH2 group, it can kill the three carbon atoms insolubility nature. So the insolubility of drug molecule is now due to only 6 carbons. 6 carbons as due to introduction of NH2 group. And along with the NH2 group, there is another NH2 group is introduced here. Nitrogen group is introduced here. This nitrogen group also can kill 3 carbons. In the previous NH2 group killed 3 carbons, another NH2 group killed another 3 carbon atoms. So 6 carbon compound, insoluble compound become 3 carbon insoluble compound. So whenever an ester group is introduced, there is no aliphatic carbons which showing insolubility nature. So this compound is highly soluble. This is called as eniliride. This name of the drug is eniliride. Eniliride. So by this way, introduction of this oxygen and nitrogen functions in our molecule, the solubility will be increased. So according to, by this Lamke given some values for the functional groups. Okay. So OH function in can kill 3 to 4 carbon atoms. Insolubility, carbon atoms, insolubility. OH can kill in polyfunction molecule. In polyfunction molecule, the OH can kill 3 to 4 carbons insolubility. Okay. Phenol can kill 3 to 4 carbons insolubility. Okay. Ether can kill 2 carbons insolubility. Okay. Like this, we given some list. So already discussed. So amine can kill 3 carbons, ester can kill 3 carbons. So along with this, OH can kill 3 to 4 carbon atoms, phenol can kill 3 to 4 carbon atoms, ether can kill 2 carbon atoms insolubility. So by this way, introduction of these functional groups, we can increase the solubility of the molecules. By this, we can measure the solubility of the given drug molecule. So by this way, there is no, so simply according to him, once again I will explain, don't worry. Okay, it is a complex topic. In a given drug molecule, note, according to Lamke, in a given drug molecule, if solubilizing potential of functional groups exceeds total number of carbon atoms, the molecule is considered to be soluble. The molecule is considered to be soluble. Okay. So according to him, the note is, if a solubilizing potential of functional groups exceeds the total number of carbon atoms, the molecule is considered to be soluble. Such that if a molecule is having OH group, NH2 group, etc, and low carbon atoms, don't worry, leave it. So if a molecule having more solubilizing potential of functional groups than the total number of carbon atoms, the molecule is said to be soluble. In reverse, such that if total number of carbon atoms exceeds the solubilizing potential of drug, the drug is insoluble. Drug molecule is insoluble. Okay, the molecule is insoluble. So once again explaining this method. Okay, there are two methods for There are two methods are used for predicting of the solubility of the drug molecule. The first method, Lamke empiric approach, and second method, the Cates method. So, Lamke empiric method based upon the measurement of carbon solubilizing potential of the functional groups. Okay, solubilizing potential of the functional groups. Whenever a drug molecule having oxygen or otherwise nitrogen functional groups, these functional groups will increase the solubility, and the insolubility of a drug molecule is always due to hydrocarbon part or ring part of the molecule. The insolubility is due to always hydrocarbon part or ring part of the molecule, and the solubility is due to functional groups like functional groups which containing oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. Okay, so I take an example 7 carbon heterocarbon. The insolubility of this 7 carbon compound is due to the 7 carbons. So the 7 carbons in this compound cause insolubility. Otherwise the 7 carbons in this molecule imparts insolubility nature to the compound. Whenever you introduce an OH group, this OH group can kill insolubility nature of 3 carbon atoms. Now, whenever the OH group is introduced, the insolubility nature of this compound is due to only 4 carbons, not 7 carbons. Whenever another NH2 group is introduced, the insolubility nature, the NH2 group also can 3 carbon atoms insolubility. So, the insolubility of this compound is due to only 1 carbon, but not 7 carbons. As this power of carbon atoms insolubility is decreased, the molecule solubility will be increased. Based upon this, in this compound, enlylated drug, there are 9 aliphatic carbon atoms are there. This insolubility nature of this enlylated is due to 9 carbon atoms. Okay, in this hydrocarbon part, but due to introduction of NH2 group in this molecule, the NH2 group can compensate 3 carbon atoms insolubility. Though the insolubility of this NH2 group containing enlylated is due to only 6 carbon atoms. Whenever another NH2 group is introduced, this NH2 group also, and this another NH2 group in here, NH group can create this aryl NH2 group, aryl amine group, not NH2 group, aryl amine group can also kill another 3 more carbon atoms. The insolubility of this compound is not due to 9 carbons, is not due to 6 carbons, because this is an NH2 group can kill another 3 carbon atoms. It can kill another 3 carbon atoms. Okay, the insolubility of this compound due to this NH2 group and this N group is reduced to 3 carbons only. Whenever you introduce an ester group, this ester group can also kill 3 carbon atoms insolubility. The insolubility of this entire drug is 0. Like this functional group can alter the solubility nature of the drug molecule. So whenever you introduce an OH molecule, it increases the solubility by killing the insolubility nature of 3 to 4 carbon atoms. When you introduce a phenyl group in a drug molecule, which can kill the insolubility of 3 to 4 carbon atoms. As well, if you introduce an ether group, which can kill the 2 carbon atoms insolubility, and which helps in increasing the solubility of the molecule. According to the Lamke, a given simple note, if a solubilizing potential of functional group is greater than total number of carbon atoms, in such case the molecule is water soluble. If total number of carbon atoms in that case is greater than solubilizing potential of the drug molecule, in that case drug molecule is insoluble. I will give an example. This is a carbon atom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atom molecule. In this 5 carbon atom molecule, there are no solubilizing functions. There are no solubilizing functions, such that it is insoluble. When you introduce OH here and H2 here, okay, so OH can kill 3 carbons, so 5 carbon atom become 2 carbon atom. Okay, then H2 kill 3 more carbon atoms, there are minus 1 carbon atom, such that in this case one solubilizing function is greater than there no carbon atoms, so it is soluble. So once again explaining, when you see the first example, there are 5 carbon atoms, no solubilizing functional groups like OH and amine groups. So as G2, in this there are number of total carbon atoms exceeds in the number of solubilizing functional that such that there is no solubilizing functional, so it is insoluble. Whenever introduce an OH group and NH2 group, OH2 group can kill 3 carbon atoms, NH2 can kill 3 carbon atoms. So there are only 5 carbon atoms, but the OH power and NH2 power exceeds total number of carbon atoms by 1. So this can kill these 3 carbon atoms, this can kill 2 carbon atoms. There are excessively there is one function which can give solubility nature. So one functional groups is there, no carbon atoms, the solubility increased. Okay, this is the Lamke method. And next method is Kate's method. Next method is Kate's method. So this Kate's method is based upon measurement of log p value. The log p value is nothing but log of partition coefficient. So Kate's method based upon the measurement of log p value. Log p is nothing but log of partition coefficient. So by measurement of log of partition coefficient of all fragments, we can know the solubility nature, such that log p is equal to sum of solubility of hydrophilic parts and hydrophobic parts. So log p, how we measure means, log p is the sum of the hydrophilic part solubility, sum of the hydrophobic parts solubility. By measuring this log p value, we can measure the solubility, we can predict the solubility of the drug molecule. So